Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Rush Limbaugh just said he's nervous with what Trump just said. Is he overreacting? Conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh has been an outspoken supporter of President Donald Trump and his agenda to restore our country's values and our prosperity. However, on a recent broadcast he mentioned that a statement Trump gave made him nervous. The president tweeted a reaction to NFL commissioner's statement that he and the NFL are in agreement that everyone should stand for the national anthem. Replied Trump via his Twitter account, "It is about time that Roger Goodell at the NFL is finally demanding that all players stand for our great national anthem. Respect our country." The NFL later backtracked on Goodell's message, claiming, "Commentary this morning about the commissioner's position on the anthem is not accurate. As we said yesterday, there will be a discussion of these issues at the owners' meeting next week. The NFL is doing the hard work of trying to move from protest to progress, working to bring people together. Players from around the league will be in New York next week to meet with owners to continue our work together." While Rush said that he thinks Trump meant well with his tweet, he took issue with it, saying on his show, "There's a part of this story that's starting to make me nervous, and it's this: I am very uncomfortable with the President of the United States being able to dictate the behavior and power of anybody. That's not where this should be coming from." He continued, "Trump is continually tweeting, I know what he's doing, and I understand why he's doing it, and his motives are pure, don't misunderstand. But I don't think that it is useful or helpful for any employee anywhere to be forced to do something because the government says they must. We don't want the president being able to demand anybody that he's unhappy with behave in a way he requires." Do you think Limbaugh is right, or is he overreacting? Kellyanne Conway crushes hypocrite Hillary for her pathetic response to Harvey Weinstein. It took Hillary Clinton 5 days to say anything negative about sexual predator and Democratic donor Harvey Weinstein. Not only that, but Hillary refused to give back any of the money that he has donated to her. Kellyanne Conway crushed her for this. "I felt like a woman who had to be Commander-in-Chief and President of the United States, the first one ever, who talks about women's empowerment, took an awfully long time to give support to those women who were coming forward, and has still, as far as we know, Bill, kept the money, kept the dirty money that Dirty Harvey has given her in her campaign," said Kellyanne. Even her running mate yesterday, Tim Kaine, was asked about this, and you had people like her former campaign manager from her first failed campaign, not the second failed campaign, Patty Celeste Doyle, coming forward and giving a very strong statement, said Kellyanne. "As I recall, Ms. Doyle even said some people should go to jail over this. You have to go look at her statement. I'm really happy and heartened, and frankly, proud of many Democrats across the island, a lot of people in the mainstream media who are otherwise very anti-Trump, coming forward about this," said Kellyanne. However, Hillary needs to not be a hypocrite about women's empowerment and what it means to be pro-woman. Do you think she's right? Bill Maher says people who support the Second Amendment really just want black slaves. Bill Maher claims that there is a racial component to supporting the Second Amendment. He started by quoting the New York Times. Because, Gary Wells, says the Second Amendment shows just how far the poison of slavery pervaded the Constitution. It was intended to protect slaveholders who used militias to keep a firm grip on their slaves. It wasn't meant to let individuals prevent federal tyranny, he said. How could it? It was meant to guarantee the legality of well-regulated militias to handle the state's internal problems, especially the problem of a large slave population, he said. I know it drives Republicans crazy when liberals say everything is about race and everything isn't about race. But I feel like guns is the one area where, If you can't see a giant difference between the way black and white are treated in America with guns, I think there's a little racism in you, he said. I mean, show the Roy Moore video. Here's a politician waving a gun at a rally. Could you get away with doing that? There you go, said Maher, thinking he just made a point. And the Vegas shooter himself, you know, it seems like when the shooter, if he was Muslim, certainly it would have been about, we got to get the band going. If he was a Mexican, it would be about the wall. And I feel like, when it's the white guy, it's like, we don't know how this happened, said Maher. Don Lemon has meltdown, just started screaming swears on live TV over Kaepernick. CNN host Don Lemon is one of the most unstable people on television. This was proved on live television last New Year's Eve when he proceeded to get drunk during the broadcast and confess the problems that he has in his love life. Liberal bias Lemon could not control his emotions once again when he had a conversation with conservative Ben Ferguson about Colin Kaepernick and the football protests and ended up swearing at him on air. Talking about President Trump urging all NFL players to stand during the national anthem, Lemon opined to Ferguson that Trump was forcing patriotism on these athletes. Ferguson replied that every president has an obligation to protect and defend the honor, the integrity of the flag, the national anthem. Don went even further and questioned why sports leagues even play the national anthem before games. Ben replied that it is to honor the United States of America. And Lemon shot back and claimed that what Ferguson said was a bullcrap answer. Ben finally said to Don, "Come on, you're smarter than this." This obviously triggered something in hypersensitive Don, and he started shouting at the conservative, "Don't tell me I'm smarter than this." "Yes, I'm smarter than the bullshit answer that you're giving," replied Ben calmly, "It's not BS." Lemon wasn't done swearing on air, adding, "It is bullshit. It's total BS." Hit back Ferguson, "This is exactly the reason why so many Americans disagree with you because of the arrogance and lack of respect. Do you think Don Lemon need help?" Hillary finally admitted Harvey Weinstein is a friend, then told huge lie to cover herself. Two-time failed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton went to Wellesley College and claims to be a feminist, and yet grew to prominence by enabling her husband Bill, who was accused of dozens of incidents of sexual harassment and other improprieties toward women. It should come as no real surprise, then, that Hillary would be friends with former Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein, who was finally outed as a sex predator recently when a number of women accused him of sexual assault. It took days for Hillary Clinton to denounce Weinstein. After all, alienating Weinstein would mean losing millions of dollars in funding for the Democratic Party, as Weinstein was one of its top fundraisers. Said Clinton on CNN, saying how she supposedly felt after hearing about Harvey's treatment of women, "I was just sick. I was shocked. I was appalled. It was something that was just intolerable in every way. And, you know, like so many people who've come forward and spoken out, this was a different side of a person who I and many others had known in the past." She then admitted that she would probably consider Weinstein a friend, but then lied through her teeth and claimed that she knew nothing about his assaults. Said Hillary, "People in Democratic politics, for a couple of decades, appreciated his help and support. And I think these stories coming to light now, and people who never spoke out before having the courage to speak out, just clearly demonstrates that this behavior that he engaged in cannot be tolerated. Do you think Hillary is obviously lying about how much she knew?" Trump said what NFL should have done the second Colin Kaepernick began kneeling. The NFL took a soft, hands-off approach to former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick when he began kneeling during the national anthem last year. As a result, this sort of anti-American defiant behavior was unchecked and was allowed to spread. In a recent interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity, President Donald Trump shared what the NFL should have done to the moment he began kneeling. Said Trump, "I watched Kaepernick, and I thought it was terrible, and then it got bigger and started mushrooming, and frankly the NFL should have suspended him for one game, and he would have never done it again." He continued, connecting it to what is happening before games today. They could have then suspended him for 2 games and they could have suspended him again if he did it a third time, for the season, and you would never have had a problem. I will tell you, you cannot disrespect our country, our flag, our anthem, you cannot do that. NFL owners have yet to formally take action against the anthem protesters, despite the fact that they have been losing considerable amounts of money due to declining TV ratings. As a response, they are going to meet next month to come to an agreement about how to deal with the protesters. Said the NFL in a statement about the time being before the meeting, there has been no change in the current policy regarding the anthem. The agenda will be a continuation of how to make progress in the important social issues that players have vocalized. Do you think Trump is right about this out-of-control situation?